Alright guys, it's time for you to hear my take on this whole riot situation, protest situation going on all over the country right now. You might have saw my last video, which was just uncut footage from Saturday's riots all day here in Salt Lake City. Today is Tuesday. Monday night we had more protests, and now Tuesday night they're at it again for the third night. I took a break on Sunday night while the community did their cleanup. And, no, I'm sorry, the community didn't do their cleanup while the city and state departments cleaned up the city because our mayor wouldn't let the community clean up the city. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But anyway, I don't want to get into the whole, you know, what caused all this, the whole George Floyd's death and all that. I think it's horrible. I don't think he should have died, and I think the cop was in the wrong for sure. I have some things that apparently I'm the only one who thinks this way, but you know, I said from the start, we need to not jump to conclusions. We need to not just follow the narrative and follow what the media is showing us. You only see so much of the video for a reason. The videos only start recording at a certain point for a reason. So we need to be aware of these things, and we need to question things. We need to not just jump to a conclusion and instantly start rioting. But nobody did that. Everybody did the opposite, and I'm the only one who's saying this apparently. Very few other people, and a lot of people think I'm an idiot and a bunch of other nonsense because I think this way, but that's not the point of this video. This video, I wanna show you guys some clips from the riots. I got my homeboy. My phone died. I'm gonna tell you the whole story of what happened on Saturday, but my phone died, and there was a lot of time I couldn't record anything, so my friend was recording, and he's gonna send me the videos, and I'm gonna put clips in throughout this video. And yeah, so let's get into it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll start you off with a little clip from Saturday when I rolled up on the scene. So here you go.
These people are freaking mad. They've lost their mind. What is on fire? Is that just trash or probably American flags?
It looked like a car for a second.
Yo, they're spray painting this pole right in front of me. This is retarded.
Alright, so that was me and my friend Dan arriving to downtown on Saturday. I had no idea riots were going on in Salt Lake City. I knew they were going on all over the country, but I thought Salt Lake City is like its own country. The Mormons run everything. They don't even have separation of church and state here. You know, this is like the whitest city in America. That's why I said in the last video, what does Utah have to do with Minnesota? Because Utah is like barely even part of America, it seems. Like, they make their own rules here, they do what they want to do, and the Mormons run everything. So, you know, when they settled Utah, it wasn't even American territory, it was Mexican territory. But anyway, that's besides the fact. The fact is, we rolled up, I didn't know what was going on, we saw smoke, we were on our way to the store, we saw smoke, and my first instinct was, oh, there was a car accident, let's go check it out. And as soon as we started getting closer and seeing the crowd of people, that's when it hit me. Wow, Salt Lake City is taking part in these riots. And I will only say riots because they were not protests. If you were there, I think it started at like 11 a.m. and it went till like 9, 10 at night. If you were there from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m., you may think that they were all peaceful protests. And you may say, oh, it was all peaceful protests until da-da-da-da-da happened. Well, your peaceful protests are what caused da-da-da-da-da to happen. Okay? Peaceful protests, every riot, every violent protest started with a peaceful protest. It started with one person coming up with a sign, 5 people coming up with a sign, 100 people coming up with signs, chanting, standing in the road, not hurting anybody, just doing that. But as it progresses and progresses and progresses, it ends the same way every time. A riot, people getting hurt, looting, destroying property, graffiti, theft, violence, attacking each other. You know how many fights I saw on Saturday? At least 5. At least 5. And none of those were with cops. Those are people fighting amongst each other. Those are these little clowns, these little Mormon kids who are going to go home to mommy and daddy, and they're crying about Black Lives Matter, something they don't even understand. And because of these idiots, we have a curfew. God, I'm really fed up with this crap. Well, Black Lives Matter. 3 white kids yelling about Black Lives Matter. Thanks for the curfew. Look at these idiots. They have no idea what life is even about. They've never talked to a cop. They've never been arrested. They don't know what life even is. Sorry, I'm getting upset. We're on night 3 of this, okay? We have a curfew for the week. At first, the curfew was only supposed to last until Monday, from Saturday till Monday. Now it lasts all week because they're still going with this crap. It's dumb. I need to gather my thoughts, so I'm gonna roll a couple more clips and check them out, and I'll be back in a second. Yo, this is wild. Whoa, it's blowing up, dude.
Yeah, that car's not gonna be safe for all your belt holes over there. You're gonna get hit with so much debris and shit.
Car's blowing, dude. This is crazy. Look at this. Yo. Yeah, social distancing. What happened? Oh, they're gonna block traffic right in front of my van. So they're blocking traffic right in front of us.
Go this way.
I can't make it in this thing. So they just block barricades and traffic right in front of me. F the police. F the police. Hey, I know that guy. I think I did crack with that guy once. Hey! Who's going to Target? Let's go to Target! We need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target! They're marching down the road now. I gotta get out of here. Hey, we're leading the march. We're gonna be leading the march right now.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, I am leading a Black Lives Matter and every other lives matter, brown lives matter, but all of them except for the white ones. They matter. So we rolled up. It was about 3:30 when we were rolling through downtown, and we see the fire. A car is burning, and there's people everywhere, every corner. As we get to the intersection, and this is all on video, the car in front of me, they run a barricade into the road, and they block that car in. And then the dude starts yelling in his window, in the driver's side window. Well, I was lucky enough to be able to get out, so I peeled off and left, went up the street, pulled into this bookstore's parking lot, and figured we're gonna sit here for a minute and we're gonna kind of watch and see what happens. Well, turns out a whole branch of the mob decided to start marching up the street. Throughout the day, multiple groups broke off and went to different parts of the city to do different things, and this was the first big branch that broke off, and they ended up going up to the Capitol building and hanging out and protesting and doing so much graffiti there all day long. And yeah, peaceful protest. Graffiti is peaceful protesting. That's in our First Amendment, right? Yeah, freedom of press. Freedom of press means you can spray paint on any public property that you want, apparently. Anyway, so as that group starts marching up the street, they're coming towards me, and I don't want to get blocked in, so we backed out and we peeled out, and we went up to Harmon's, parked the van, we got some energy drinks and some cigarettes, and we left the van at Harmon's, and we walked down to the protests, to the riots, and hung out there for probably 3 or 4 hours till it was getting close to nighttime. It was like 6 or 7 when we left, and my phone was dead, so I couldn't record for like 3 hours of the time that we were there. I'm gonna try to get some videos from while we were in the park, the city county building, clock tower park. That was like ground zero, right in front of the library, and that park right there was like ground zero. That's where everybody was at. We hung out there for a while. It was really, you know, it was kind of like a big block party all over the city, except not everybody was partying. A lot of people were partying. A lot of people were, you know, what kind of protest is standing around drinking and getting high in the park, you know, watching idiots get pepper sprayed by cops? That's not a protest. That's a party with morons getting beat up, you know?
Cars blowing up. Probably gonna hurt a lot of people.
You hear them shooting their shooting their tear-gas paintball guns. Yeah, I can feel it. You feel it? Yeah, my eyes are burning and they're tingling a little bit.
It blows my mind that people are like, these were peaceful protests. Anyway, we hung out in the park for a while. Oh yeah, about the peaceful protest thing. Let me tell you something. I saw 3 separate times where, in the midst of chaos, people are bashing in windows, people are spray painting everything. I just hit my sushi. I'm eating sushi right now. Anyway, in the midst of total chaos, 3 separate times, everything would stop in a certain area, and people would kind of clear out, and you'd see something amazingly beautiful and sweet and nice, and oh, it made my heart feel warm just now. And it would be something like everybody would back away, and you'd see there'd be all these cameras and news cameras pointing at a cop and a protester, and they would do something like give each other a hug, or give each other a high five, or shake hands, or give each other a dap. That happened 3 times on Saturday that I saw. And every single time, 10 feet away where the cameras weren't pointing, people were destroying things. Cars were on fire. People were getting their faces bashed in. But for some reason, everybody stopped and, oh, they're about to do something loving and peaceful for the protest. They're going to shake hands, they're going to hug, and we're going to take pictures, and we're going to put that on the nightly news, and we're going to show you that, but we're not going to show you what's happening right over there. No. You guys need to wake up if you're believing this crap. If you're posting these memes and spreading this nonsense, you are what's making the world dumber every day. Your memes, your believing idiocy. This is why the world is getting dumber, and this is what they want. They want you to be stupid. They want you to be sheep. They want you to be mindless zombies staying in your house. I'm so frustrated, guys. I'm so frustrated. Like, this is really, you know, I've been into politics and studying politics and stuff for a while now. Theology, religion, and just studying people my whole life. I've done sales. I've watched people. I'm observant. I just like to watch people and study people. And I've seen the degradation of society. People are getting retarded every single day. I just smacked my sushi again. That's kind of retarded. I'm not gonna be able to monetize this video anyway, so what do I care if I say retarded? You can't even say that word anymore. Oh, I'm getting off topic, guys. I'm getting off topic. So then after we were, you know, kind of tired of hanging out at the park, and we had plans that night and we wanted to go, but our plans were getting messed up because Dan knew that I wanted to be there. He knew I wanted to cover this, and I wanted to see everything and know everything about what was happening so that I could tell people the truth. And so he said, well, let's go handle our business that we got to handle, which included some 420 friendly activity and a couple brews. And so we went and did that. We parked up in the avenues, and we walked back down to the protest from the avenues, and we got back again at like 8 o'clock at night. We're on the outskirts right now. The real event is over down by the library. This has been going all day. I think it was at the fever pitch at what time? What time was those cars on fire? Like
6.
No, that was like 2.
Wait.
We hung out for like 3 hours.
Really?
We were down there for like 3 hours total.
4?
What did we do? We did a lot of stuff today. Yeah, it was 3 or 4. We're sitting in the middle of the road. There's there's definitely military, and also some of the green uniforms are local police that just have green uniforms on. They came in the truck earlier. Shortly after 8, all the phones get an alert, an emergency alert. Utah has a curfew in effect, and if you're out after dark, you know, you can be prosecuted or whatever. And when it went dark and when that notification went off, that's when the cops' attitudes totally changed. Because I'm telling you, okay, so let's say we got there at 3:30, the car had just started being burned, and that's when things started going crazy. So let's say that's when the peaceful protest turned into a riot, 3:30-ish. No cops came until 7 o'clock at night. Or, well, wait, when did the SWAT team get there? They got there at like 6. So 3 hours of rioting before the SWAT team even arrives. And then when they arrive, they don't do anything. There's a video of them pushing over this old man. Listen, let me tell you something. That old man was standing in the middle of ground zero. The car that was on fire was literally as far as from me to that car right there. That's how far the car was burning from him. He was in the middle of a blocked off road. I saw people posting, oh, he was probably just waiting for the bus stop. He was just waiting for the bus. There was no bus. There was a riot going on. The whole block was shut down. There were no one on the roads. The only reason you were standing in the middle of that street 20 feet away from a burning car is because you were protesting. That guy had a lot more energy when he was smacking that car with his cane. But then when the SWAT team rolls up and they come out with their shields and they say, clear the area, and they start pressing forward, and that idiot decides to stand there and just look around like he's dumb. And then when they start pushing him from behind, you see him tighten up. Don't act like you don't see him tighten up. That old man got shoved on the ground. He should have got a rubber bullet in his butt to get him out of there. He was being an idiot. People saying, kids got pepper sprayed. Oh, they got tear gas. I want you to see, I'm going to play a scene from a clip that you've probably already seen on my channel. I've probably already shown it in this video. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to show you right here why kids got pepper sprayed. Here you go.
Or something.
It looks like traffic's
I just thought there was a car accident. I didn't know there was one of these dumb protests going on.
There's people lined up all over the butt fucking place.
We're not going to be able to go. How am I going to get out?
So you just saw a grown man and a grown woman picking their 2 small children up over the barricade to get them closer to the riot. Now, if you know how that street is and you know how downtown Salt Lake City is set up, there's a wire barricade blocking the track station from the street. At that point, when that guy was lifting his kids over that, on the other side of the barricade was okay. The street was still open, cars were still going through, a bunch of looky-loos hanging out on the sidewalk just watching. But if you went over that barricade, which I did do, you were in no man's land. If you would put your kids into that situation, then you can't complain when your kid gets pepper sprayed, and you shouldn't be able to have children. Sorry, but you're a bad parent. You shouldn't have brought your kids to a riot. That's why your kid got pepper sprayed. Don't blame the police. So nighttime, the cops got kind of freaky. It got a lot more scary at night. I didn't run. You know, what would happen is the cops would have a line and everybody would just slowly move closer and closer and closer in on the cops' line that they were holding. Once the SWAT team arrived and they all came out with shields, they made a line in front of the library, and everybody would press in slowly, and the front line would get more and more aggressive. Everybody's throwing water bottles, throwing 40s that they stole from 7-Eleven. I got that on video too. Throwing rocks, throwing sticks, throwing gallon jugs of milk that are, you know, still closed. So that's heavy. Flying through the air, smacking a cop in the head. That's not peaceful. And everybody would slowly push in, and then the cops would take their little paintball guns that had their pepper bullets, and they'd let off a few shots. Pop, 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 pop a few people. That's not gonna kill you. I love paintball, and that's not gonna hurt you. They pop, and a little bit of gas comes out, and it makes your eyes burn and whatever. That happened like 6 times while we were in the park for 3 hours. Everybody would slowly push forward, and then they'd let off a few shots, and everybody would stampede, running. Now, me and my friend weren't on the front line. We were hanging out where the crowd, you know, where we're close to the line and to the action, and we can see it, but where the crowd's a little less tight. And every time the cops did that and the stampede happened, we would just stand there. And we're like, you guys are idiots. You're gonna run for 50 feet, and then you're gonna stop, and you're gonna turn around and come back. And that's what they did over and over again. It wasn't until nighttime when I ran from the cops. And I got that on video too. I ran because they charged us, and they were tackling people, and I didn't want to get tackled. And it doesn't matter if I say I'm there as press. It doesn't matter. They're gonna tackle you if you're in the area, and they're gonna take you to jail. So I didn't feel like going to jail, so that's how that went. But yeah, see, look, they're blocking streets off. This is night 3. We still have helicopters in the sky, so it's still going on. This is so stupid. Nighttime, yeah, the curfew went out. People started breaking windows on the city county building, which somebody that some dumb person on my Facebook that isn't on my Facebook anymore, thank God, said that Aaron Mendenthal, our awesome mayor, made sure that nobody touched the city county building. Right. That's why when, after the curfew went into effect and the cops started getting serious, they started busting windows out of the city county building. I've got pictures. I've been there since then. Multiple times. Multiple windows busted out. Paint, graffiti, all over the building. So, you were wrong. Aaron Mendenthal didn't do nothing. Sorry I'm so dirty, guys. I'm filthy. I got off work, and I just had to get this over with before too much time passes and people forget about this and we move on to the next flavor of the week. But I'm really dirty right now and sweaty and nasty, and I don't even know if you can see me. But anyway, so cops charged. I ran, and you know, we started figuring out they're setting up a perimeter around the whole city. We got to get out. So we got to get all the way back to the avenues from downtown on foot. And so we started taking back alleys and stuff. Every street that we would stop and try to film for a little while, we noticed that the cops were slowly building a perimeter around everybody. And it was scary because, you know, we saw fights breaking out. We saw people attacking officers, and it was nuts. It was insanity, and we didn't want to be in, you know, ground zero anymore, and we had to get out. It was dark, and we had to get to our friend's house and go to bed. So we made our way out. They're breaking windows out of the city county building now. They're gonna go up in the city county building. The cameras don't matter because everybody's got masks on anyway. Wow. Cops are like lined up in there. We were just talking about how this building, it's crazy. To take Main Street because they're pressing forward again. It's crazy how that building hasn't gone down yet. They're breaking into the city county building right across the street, but they just put out a public alert for everybody who has a phone, I guess, now knows that you cannot be on the streets after 9 p.m. And now they can arrest anybody because they just put out a thing on phones. Look at this cop rolling up. He's late to the party. Hold on for a second. else here? Hold on, I just want to hang out for a second. I want to see this. Something happens. This car is right in the way of that dude. Oh, they're crossing the barricade. Yeah, let's go. Oh my god, I need to clean my lens. Protecting that building now. The courthouse. The main courthouse. The big courthouse. Cops are advancing on the crowds all over the city. They sent out their public alert so that everybody knows. Now, nobody is supposed to be on the streets for any reason. They're throwing barricades into the road. Oh, we gotta move, dude. Cops got sticks in their hands. I think everybody's dispersing finally. We made our way out, bumped into our friend Hunter. His friend he was with, she had a kid, and he was walking her and the kid home. But her and the kid he lived outside the perimeter, her and the kid lived inside the perimeter, and the cops had every road blocked off. So we had to stop and talk to the cops. We had to explain, look, he's walking these two home. And the cop went with them, escorted them, kept them safe, didn't pepper spray the kid in the face for no reason like everybody says that they do. The cop helped out. The cop was cool, and the cop said, you know, you go get your vehicle, come back here and pick him up. He's gonna take her home. And I said, okay, sounds good. You know, so that's what we did. Picked up Hunter, went and chilled at Hunter's house, and then and that was it. Sunday, Facebook groups were trying to organize cleanups, and Aaron Mendenthal said, no, you can't organize cleanups because we don't want more protests breaking out and we don't want people getting sick of COVID. I guess she wasn't informed that riots cure COVID. You guys didn't know that? Duh. Everybody knows that. COVID was cured as soon as all the riots started. Duh. Anyway, I stole that from Steven Crowder. That's not an original joke, but it is a good one. Anyway, Yeah, it was crazy. People are wild. People are believing nonsense. People are following every meme they see and you know, trying to virtue signal and talk about how self-righteous they are, and all these white people making page-long exposés about how they support Black Lives Matter and they're da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, they're living in a white neighborhood and they're hanging out with white people and they're putting their kids in the white schools. If you're so about that life, then why don't you go live in the hood? And why don't you put your kid in the public school PS 128 in New York or something like that? Why not? You know why not. It has nothing to do with black people. It has something to do with inner cities being controlled by a certain side of the government, and all the mayors of these cities where we had riots are all on that same side of the government. And don't even get me started on the imported protesters. Multiple people I've talked to have said that in the years they've lived in Salt Lake City, they can count on two hands the number of black people that they've met. I can tell you, I probably know, I've been here 8 years, I probably could name off between 7 and 11 black people right now. Yeah, it's like that. That's how white this city is, okay? At the riots, some of my friends were saying, oh, it's probably all white people there. No, it wasn't. It wasn't all white people there. It was probably 40 or 50% white people, and then probably 40%, let's say 40% white people, 40% black people, and 20% brown people. And then a little, you know, mixture of, you know, the other races. But anyway, I'm not about that race stuff. I don't care about that race stuff. I think we're all people. I think it's good or evil, right or wrong. Race doesn't matter. But since we're talking about this, we have to talk about race, because it's what's causing all this. It's the causation, the cause and the effect. Is people believing that everyone's racist, people spreading the narrative that white people are evil and we're all racist, and people believe it. These sheep just believe it and they just go along with it. Wake up, people. It's 2020. Slavery's been over. You don't know a single slave owner. You don't know a single person whose grandparents were slave owners. Come on. Wake up, guys. Somebody's calling me. Anyway, then Monday rolls around. I go to work, get off work. I hear that there's another protest going on. There was a rumor that it was a white supremacist protest. So I got a little footage for you right here from Monday night. I followed him around town. I talked crap to this cameraman on my live stream on Facebook. I don't have any way to get that on here, but check out this couple videos from Monday night, from last night's second round of protests. So check it out. I'm at the 7-Eleven that got looted the other day during the riots. And that whole front window was broken out. The door was broken out. It's all fixed up. These guys are pretty cool. I'm gonna go in there and tell them I'm sorry that happened to them, because they didn't deserve it. Sure enough, the morons are at it again. Welcome to retardation. And there's already cops chasing them off. We just got another curfew extension. A whole bunch of cops have been posted up, had the road blocked off in front of the city county building since Saturday. This morning there was military and Humvees out there. Oh look, are they gonna loot the 7-Eleven again? Notice how many less protesters there are when we don't have protesters being imported from other states. Huh.
bunch of little kids protesting police brutality. I guarantee most
using the N-word too.
Most of them have never even talked to a cop.
Well, you know, another thing is what these spoiled little brats in this city have to do with some poor black guy, you know, that's an ex-cop who just had to put up with.
In all the cities, it's ridiculous. They're not doing.
And the majority, like I said, are a bunch of fucking spoiled white people who never dealt with the cops, like you said, before their lives.
No. These kids are gonna go home to their mommy and daddy. Oh, it's so ridiculous. Here we go again, another night. Another night of protests, and there's a lot more of them. Not a lot more than Saturday, but a lot more than just now when I was live streaming. A bunch of people just showed up out of nowhere. Round number 2, here we go again. Run them over! They mess with the van, they get the chainsaw. You can't see it, but it's there. Alright, they're setting up their perimeter again. We're up here on South Temple, and all the protesters have arrived and blocked off the middle of South Temple. Come on, cops, get rid of that light. I can't see. We all hate cops. I need to get that blinding light behind that sign right there. There we go. Hey, that guy's sign is perfect. It blocks the light. Oh, come on, move back, dude. Alright, I got this guy's head blocking the spotlight from the cops so you can actually see. So definitely not near as many people as last time. Hands up, don't shoot. The majority of these protesters have never been in any sort of altercation with an officer. They probably most of them never been arrested. Most of them are gonna go home and sleep in their warm beds tonight. Get up on this wall. Black Lives Matter isn't involved. How come everybody's shouting Black Lives Matter? But Black Lives Matter denies they had anything to do with this in Utah. If you're a political movement group, anyone who supports your movement is part of your group. Get on this wall right here, so I have the high ground. Ugh. The cops do have shields, and they are on the edge of the group. We're talking about being out after the curfew that never existed, but I bet you they were all wearing masks and locked down when Corona was happening. Nobody wants to fight Corona lockdowns, but they'll fight a curfew. this is that time. I don't want my phone to die now, but all those cops closing in on those protesters, and they got cops on the other side of them.
Go home.
Can I jump down here?
Go home. Go home.
Can we go this way?
Can I just gonna jump down and go that way?
Can we jump down and go this way?
In the building, guys.
Oh shit.
In the building, guys.
You're too pretty to be out here.
They're fucking arresting me.
Effectively, all this did was get us a curfew for a week longer. So there's a white guy and a black guy. Equality. Asking for permission to live, but nobody was doing this during Corona lockdown. Nobody cared about their freedoms during Corona lockdown. Uh-oh, these guys are running from something. There's cops coming right down there. Something's happening. The SWAT truck is leaving. That truck is leaving. And all those guys who just ran down that alleyway just got rounded up. They were going out the one side of the alley and the cops were coming up the other way. Everybody's starting to walk again. Everybody's starting to march again over there. They slipped through the side, got around the cops, but these guys, I just need to watch to make sure they're not coming up on the left side of me. Alright, so I'm sitting in the van. They started walking away and I went back to the van and I'm trying to follow them, but the cops keep blocking off the roads once they pass, so you can't follow them in a vehicle. So I'm trying to take side streets to follow the walk, but I just got here to this spot and I see down there, you're not going to be able to see it, but oh yeah, you can. See that line of cops lined up waiting down there? Well, right now, the march is on the next block over. That way, one block that way, going that way. They're going to run into that line of cops at the bottom. And eventually, cops are going to get tired of chasing them all around the city. And something's going to happen. They already brought in the jail bus. They already got like 4 guys handcuffed. And the bus arrived, so now they're going to start handcuffing a lot more. So we found them. Well, at least we found the cops. I don't know where the protesters are, but that's just all cops. They are hyped up. Oh yeah, these cops are way more amped tonight than they were on Saturday. They're like, let's go! That's a diamond store right there. I wonder if they tried to loot it or something. Look, look, look. These guys are checking out the window of the diamond store. Ooh, he's thinking about it, but that cop's like, try it, buddy. So yeah, that was Monday. Pretty peaceful overall. I bet it's the same tonight. It really was just, you know, way less people because all the imported protesters went home. And yes, I do believe that. I'm not just saying that for shock value or to be a conspiracy theorist. I saw multiple cars with out-of-state plates, and they were covered in Black Lives Matter, I Can't Breathe, and all that other stuff. And yeah, once they all left, the protests got a lot weaker. And now they're peaceful protests. Why? Because they don't outnumber the cops anymore. When the protesters outnumber the police force, that's when protests become violent. The protests are peaceful when there's only 50, 100 people there because they're outnumbered by the cops. Once the people outnumber the police, the protests get violent. Every single city, every single state, that's what happened. But yeah, so Monday they walked around. I got in an argument with this dude who was running his camera telling lies. He's doing a live stream with his camera saying, the cops just shot rubber bullets and tear gas into the protesters. No, he hadn't. The protesters hadn't moved off that corner, and there was only like 50 protesters, and there was like 100 cops. One person threw a water bottle across the street from a whole 4-lane street away. Yeah, you got balls, bro. You're real tough. You're a tough guy. You threw a water bottle from across a 4-lane street at the cops. Good job, buddy. And then the cop raised his tear gas canister launcher, and everybody on the corner was like, whoa, no, he's gonna tear gas. Oh my God, these little children. Most of them are children. Most of these are teenage kids who want some anarchy. They want to rage. A lot of them are people who want to come up. They want to get a PlayStation. They want to go loot the Big Lots, or I mean the Best Buy. Why did I say Big Lots? Nobody goes to Big Lots. Nobody's gonna loot Big Lots. I meant Best Buy. They want to go to the Best Buy and get some new video games and some new iPhones, and a lot of people just wanted to rage. A lot of people wanted to purge. They had been locked down for 2 months in their house, and nobody protested that. Well, some patriots did protest that, and then they had people talk crap about them because, oh, you just want to get a haircut, so you protest. No, we want our freedom. We're actually protesting something that we should be protesting. You're protesting one guy dying that happens every day just because the media blew it up and showed it to you every single 5 minutes. It happens all the time. It's called excited delirium. It's called a weak heart, excited delirium, and a bunch of cops on your back. When you're coming down from crack, you can't handle that. So, yeah, that's not something the whole nation should be rioting about. But what the nation should be rioting about is when they take all your freedoms for a virus that they're lying about the death count, and they're lying about everything involving it, making you wear masks, making you wear gloves, and you just follow along like little sheep. But then when some guy dies in a horrible accident, or a horrible, well, you know, we don't know if it was an accident. I don't think that the cop intentionally went out that day to murder somebody. I think he was careless. I think he was negligent in his duties, and I think he screwed up. I think he was also distracted by a bunch of loud, obnoxious people with cameras screaming at him. I think that the cops probably could have handled their duty a little better if there weren't a bunch of bystanders shoving cameras in their faces trying to go viral. So that's my take on that. But anyway, it's Tuesday. They're still going with the protests. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care if you disagree with everything I said. I don't care if you write in the comments about how dumb I am and how you're an idiot. Oh, Black Lives Matter. We're gonna rescue the world. Da 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 da. Let me tell you something. I love black people. I love brown people. I love white people. I love gay people. But I do not accept rights as wrongs, and I do not put up with nonsense. Okay? And this is all a bunch of nonsense. Black Lives Matter is a radical group, a radical far left violent group that should be designated as a terrorist group. If Proud Boys are terrorists, if Antifa are rightfully terrorists, if the KKK are rightfully terrorists, notice one of those three I didn't say rightfully,
because one of those three should not be classified as a terrorist group by the SLPC, but of course they are, because they're white guys. Well, they're not even white guys, they're actually just patriots. They're patriots. If you're an American patriot, you're a terrorist. Same way they tried to say NRA members were terrorists. Remember that? Yeah. But anyway, if Antifa, KKK, and Proud Boys are all terrorist groups, Black Lives Matter is next on the chopping block. You are terrorists. You are destroying America. You need to stop. I'm not talking to all black people. I love black people. I don't love the black people who are part of this radical group and who are going around causing all of this chaos and destruction. You are morons. But yeah, I've been talking for a long time, guys. I know this quality isn't gonna be up on this video very high. I'm sitting in a hot van, eating some sushi, having a beer, and sweating, covered in grease. Look how dirty my shirt is. Look, I'm filthy right now. I'm covered in grease and dirt. I got a gym membership just so I could get showers while I'm living in the van, but because of coronavirus, the showers are closed at the gym. So I went in, got my membership, and turns out I can't even use the shower because they're closed. But anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I told you all about the riots. I told you about all my takes, and you know, you'll say, oh, you're entitled to your opinion. Well, no, I don't think anybody will be reasonable enough to say you're entitled to your opinion. Everybody in the comments is either going to love me or hate me, and that's the way I like it. I'm not here to bring peace or to placate you or to pander to you or to satisfy your needs for entertainment. I'm here to speak truth to power and speak truth to everybody and wake people up, or at least try. If some guy living in his van who was homeless and on crack and heroin and meth a year ago can wake up, then you can too. This is really a bunch of nonsense, guys. But I hope you forgive how dirty and grimy I am, and hope you got some reasonable, constructive criticism for the comment section. If you disagree, formulate an argument. Write something intelligent. Make your statement legible. Don't just get drunk and put, you're an idiot, racist. Come on, guys. Step your game up. For real. I almost said mind game, but I don't think it's about your mind. I think you should stop following your mind, stop following your thoughts, start following your heart, start being observant, pay attention, and wake up. Look around you. See what's really happening. Because if this country falls, the world is over, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last bastion of hope in the world, guys. And we're just flushing it down the drain, just giving it up. It's stupid. But this has been Josh, Jsurbanadventures, straight off the riot trail. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And I'll be back with a new van video soon. Hopefully these protests are over and I don't have to chase these fools around anymore. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace.